Hi, it's Roseann, and welcome to part 2 of our flexion extension rotation series. Hopefully, you've warmed up your spine with the first video, which was where we had the bolster lengthwise of the mat. Now we're going to change the bolster to our side, and we will use the yoga block for the end of it. So you don't need the yoga block right now, so set that aside. Just a heads up on this. I'm going to be only showing you one side and the finishing part of this practice. So you'll have to hit the pause button and rewind and do the other side. Or maybe you just do one side because you're really tight on that side, but I would suggest doing both sides. But I'm just going to show you one side today, okay? So I'll go through a lot of detail in this. Stop anytime it feels good for you and you want to linger longer. Or if you're feeling any pain or discomfort, back off on the move. The main thing is you should use your breath to open, to release, to relax, to restore, to rejuvenate. So let's begin. So we're going to have the bolster and we want to divide it in half, and you're going to mold over the front half of the bolster. We need the back half so we can side bend and extend. So be aware that you are in the front half of the bolster. And we'll start with you laying on your side. So the knees will be bent and you're pushing this bolster up against your hips. Once you're there, you're going to take your bottom arm. Now I'm doing this on my left side, right side exposed. You can do whatever side you want, okay? But just let your head drop over your deltoid bicep and hang there for a moment and make sure that your chin's tucked in. Just give yourself a breath or two to allow the head. It's pretty heavy, quite heavy. We want to stretch these muscles. Then you're going to take your top leg and just drive that heel up. You're going to feel that you've created space from the hip and the bottom rib. And as well as create more space by reaching your pinky and ring finger toward your actively flexed foot. You'll feel the difference in just that reach, creating that more of that length. And hang out here and breathe into it. Now, once you feel like you're ready for the next part, you're going to reach the arm up and let the arm bone sink in the socket. Sometimes I move the arm around just to make sure it's really the bone's really in the socket before I go further. As you reach overhead, you may consider to bend your elbow so it's the arm bone that's moving and you're not in your neck. That should be soft. And just let that stretch come from the tricep, the lat into the side of the ribs. That's your serratus anterior and your intercostals. And breathe. The breathing's where the stretching happens. That's the magic, right? When you start feeling you got some space here, you may want to put a gentle tug of the arm so that you can interlace your fingers and take your hands behind your head. Now we're in a nice side bend position, and this is fabulous, but there's a lot more where that came from. You'll flex forward, or I should say rotate. You're flexed over the bolster, you're going to rotate forward. So your ribs roll over the bolster, your elbows point down. It's kind of like you're squeezing your head here. Breathe. The next inhale, feel in this shape. Look at my leg. It's your leg, hip, rib cage, navel, rib cage, chest, shoulders, arms, and then head. The eyes gaze back. Now this first one is quite a doozy. This is the aha moment where you go, wow, I am tight. So breathe, just observe. Don't push this one. This is just a check in. Take an inhale. And now it's your toes, your knees, your hips, your belly button, your ribs, your chest, your shoulders, and your arms and your head. Come back to these place of, we're going to call it derotation. Okay. Inhale here. Exhale. The next inhale, we start rotating back. You can feel you're rolling over the ribs. It's a process, just like anything else, that is one bone at a time, one breath at a time, one muscle at a time. And you'll notice a difference already that you've got a little bit more movement. Your toes probably pointing to the sky, your Belly is open to the sky, chest is open, your eyes looking back toward the back elbow. Inhale, and then exhale. Negative process from your ankle, knee, hip, ribs, shoulders, head, all the way back. Now, this is our third one, and you can repeat this a few more times if you need it. Otherwise, I'm going to add on. We'll derotate or rotate, and how you want to speak of it, but you're just turning. And you feel all the body parts turning and pause there. Now you can hang out here and breathe big into it, or you can add on with me. And you can linger longer or add on. To add on, this is what happens. We're going to come back and face me. Your top hand is going to reach toward your thigh like we started. And then we're going to stretch the hand toward the computer. Your hand might touch the floor. I hope it does. And you're going to drag your hand on the floor. Keep dragging it on the floor and touch the floor as long as you can. Now your arm goes overhead. You're going to start turning the wrist, the arm in the socket. You probably will bend your elbow a lot this first time. Push your head back into your hand. Let everything turn. And once you can't go any further, then stretch the arm back. You're going to make that rainbow arm, as we call it, bringing the hand to the hip. And now you come back to face me. That was one. We'll do two more. So you're going to turn, the arm reaches, find the ground, press into the ground as much as you can. When the arm comes overhead, you're going to turn from the shoulder socket. So you flip the palm and you feel that turn, make your hips and ribs and torso turn. It's almost like you're laying on your back at this point, and open up and stretch. Reach away. If you can straighten your arm, that's awesome. But if you can't, that's okay. Keep the elbow bent and make it come back. I'm always supporting my head. It's never hanging. But it's a great way to do something different with the neck, since it always seems to go forward. Now the last one, we're going to add on to this. I like to layer everything. So slide forward, make that big circle, that big rainbow. Use the breath all the way. Keep breathing in and out. Feel the flip when you need to. And once you get back to the sticky spot, and again, we all have them, you're going to take that back arm and reach it up and down, or come toward me and away from me. So we're rolling on the bottom rib a couple times. Just create some little tiny movements with your breath to encourage the opening of the top of the ribs that are facing the ceiling. And then once you're ready, you can take that full circle of the arm. Wow, that was a stretch. And then come all the way back. Now, once you come back, we're going to put our hand on the bolster. The bottom hand is going to release the head. You'll turn to face the bolster and slowly bend your top knee. Slowly push your hand down into the floor and then put it onto the bolster. Let your head be heavy here. We're going to take a little counter pose. So what I want you to do is slide your hands back over the bolster. The ribs are rotated. You're coming over and you're dropping the head. Hang out here and enjoy this. This is a wonderful little stretch where we have flexion, rotation, and the QLs, which run parallel with all the other muscles of the spine, are going to get a nice stretch here. So enjoy that. We're going to stretch it, and then we're going to strengthen it. So you'll slide the hands back. The back hand, the one that's not close to me, is what we're going to press into. Roll your shoulder back and look over your shoulder. Now you're in rotation with extension. Keep pulling the chin in, let the eyes gaze back. Not too heavy of a twist here, just enough. Okay, just enough that you feel some extension. And breathe. And now we'll slowly derotate facing the computer or your electronic device. Now, once we've come from here, like I said, you can hit the pause button and then rewind, and we're going to start the other side. For sake of this video, I'm going to just go ahead and work into the final part of this series. So you've completed both sides, and now you're going to grab your yoga block. Okay. That yoga block is going to sit behind the bolster, and you're going to keep your bolster the same way. We're just going to re-neutralize the posture, and just like we started in the first video. We're going to get that extension and flexion back. We've got all that rotation, and you might feel a little lopsided. So let's make sure the spine is realigned. Okay. So once again, we're going to take our knees are bent, feet are flat. That's one option. But at this point, you might like your legs straight. It all depends on how tight your back is. It doesn't matter, knees bent or straight. And rest your forearms on the bolster and feel your waistband pressing in. Okay. Now, once you've got that there, you can take your hands behind your head, elbows pointing toward the toes, and check out those feet. I want you to flex them. I don't want you to relax. I want you to engage all the muscles. And slowly roll back. If you need a couple little crunches to loosen things up, extend and flex, by all means do so. It's a great, you may want to do some ab work right here before you finish the series. So that's all, it's an option for you. And now when you're ready, you bring your head back. And you'll find that block. Now, some of you might want to put the block higher. It depends on your neck flexibility. For me, I feel pretty good right here, chin's in, but I'm not lifting my chin up. I don't want a big hole in my neck. That's where you'll need to have the block higher if you have that hole. Okay. But if you can keep your neck in neutral, it's going to feel like a double chin, and that's okay. All right. Your eyes are gazing toward your feet, not to the ceiling. Super important. Bad habits we have of looking up. I want the eyes to be gazing there. Okay, now, lastly, check. Make sure your arm bones, this is your humerus bone, make sure it's over the bolster and open up. This should feel pretty darn good, but if it's feeling tight for you, do a couple arm circles like this. Reach up, drop the shoulders flat on the bolster, reach back on the inhale, press the ribs into the bolster, palms face the ceiling, and make a big sweeping circle. Let's do two more. Inhale, exhale, and sweep it around. Inhale, all the way up, and exhale. And now see how that feels. My hope is, my desire is that you can keep your arms over the bolster. It's okay to bend the elbows. If you're super tight, your hands will be higher than your elbows, but our goal is for your elbows to be higher and your hands to be down. That's what we're looking for. The shoulder blades are flat on the ribs are pressing in, and we can stretch out. Hang out here as long as your heart desires. This is what you came for, this chest opening kind of feeling. When you feel complete, we'll come out of this the same way. I want you to first give yourself a hug, okay? Make sure that everything feels pretty good. We've stretched out a lot across the chest, so counter that. Open up one more time, and then hug again. I like to balance out left to right, right to left. Open up. Take bend the elbows, hands go behind the head. Interlace your fingers. Elbows will lift slightly to lift your head. Now you can do the same thing like we came down, we come up. Legs can be straight. One knee can be bent. Both knees can be bent. It's up to you. In either case, whatever you choose, you can support your hands behind your head, or you can use your abs to roll up. If you find you have to jerk up, that's a no-no. I'd rather you take a knee and slowly bring yourself up rather than jerking, okay? If you can, over time, and it happens, we can use our abdominals to roll up, bend your knees, flex over, get a nice big stretch here, guys. Want to counterbalance that big back bend pose. Shake the head, shake your shoulders, breathe into your back. And then you'll stack your spine up, and you are done. So I hope this was helpful for you, that you feel that you're bending easier side to side, rotating, whether you're a golfer, a tennis player, pickleball player, or just want to have that great mobility in your body. This is the series I'd love for you to do. And you can do this series literally every day, but I want to recommend that you do it at least 2 to 3 times a week. If you have any questions, feel free to email me or text me, Roseann at LIVFITT, LIVFITT.com. Thank you so much for joining me. Please share this video with friends and loved ones. Have an awesome day. Bye for now.